I never thought much about my family history, at least not in the way I would after that night. My name is Ada, and for as long as I can remember, my life has been filled with the comforting hum of everyday routines. I grew up surrounded by the warmth of my family, my mother's laughter, my father's stories about our village, and the tales my grandmother used to tell us. We had a strong connection to our heritage, but in a way that felt almost casual. Our roots were deep, yet we never really explored the extent of them. Little did I know my life was about to change forever. It all started one evening after I had returned from a long day at work. I went to bed like usual, tired but content, unaware that my night would take me on an unforgettable journey. I fell asleep, but soon found myself in a place that was neither here nor there. It felt like a dream, but something about it felt real. Too real to be imagined. The air was thick with the scent of incense, and I could hear the soft rustling of leaves as if a gentle breeze was sweeping through the trees. I was standing in a vast open field under a sky painted in shades of orange and purple. In the distance, I saw a figure approaching me, walking slowly with a sense of purpose. As the figure came closer, my heart raced with anticipation. She was an older woman, regal in her bearing. Her skin was dark, like the earth after a heavy rain. Her hair braided into intricate patterns, and her eyes, oh, her eyes. They were filled with wisdom that seemed to transcend time itself. She wore a simple yet elegant dress made from natural fibers, with patterns I had never seen before, like symbols of the past weaving into the fabric. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of awe and curiosity. "I am your ancestor, Ada," she replied, her voice as calm and steady as a river flowing through the land. "I have come to help you understand who you truly are." In that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of recognition, as if I had known her all my life. I couldn't explain it, but I knew deep down that this woman was part of me, a part of something much bigger. She spoke of our family's history, of sacrifices and struggles, of triumphs and hardships, and I was struck by the depth of her words. I woke up with a start, my heart still pounding from the vividness of the dream. My mind was racing, and the images of the woman lingered, haunting me in the most beautiful way. Who was she? Why had she come to me? And why did I feel so connected to her? The dream left me with more questions than answers, so I decided to dive into my family's history. I began by talking to my mother, who, like many, had always been protective of family secrets. She spoke of our family in reverent terms, but avoided details about the past. Still, she did reveal that my grandmother had once spoken of a great matriarch, a woman who had been a pillar of strength in our lineage. I turned to online genealogy websites, visited local archives, and began to speak with elderly relatives who held pieces of the puzzle. However, the journey wasn't easy. Many records were lost over time, and some stories didn't align with others. There were moments when I felt like I was chasing ghosts, unable to make sense of the fragments before me. I faced dead ends, conflicting information, and at times emotional barriers that seemed impossible to break through. But then, one day, while researching in a dusty corner of my family's old homestead, I found a faded photograph of the woman from my dream. My heart skipped a beat. There she was, the same face, the same eyes. The caption beneath the photograph read, "Olufunmilayo, the matriarch of our family, a woman of power and grace." I couldn't believe it. The woman in my dream was real, and she was part of my family's history. I had uncovered a hidden chapter of my lineage, one that spoke of resilience, strength, and the enduring legacy of a woman who had fought for her people and her family. This discovery changed everything. The connection I felt to Olufunmilayo was no longer just a dream. It was a bridge to my own past, a link to something far deeper than I had ever imagined. I began to see my family in a new light, understanding the struggles and triumphs that had shaped us. It wasn't just about the bloodline. It was about the values, the resilience, and the unspoken bonds that tied us together. As I shared what I had learned with my family, I could see the impact it had on them. My mother, who had always been the keeper of our family stories, seemed to soften as she spoke more openly about our ancestors. We laughed together, cried together, and in many ways, healed together. The discovery had brought us closer, not just to each other, but to our roots. Olufunmilayo's story was not one of privilege, but of hard work and sacrifice. She had fought against the odds to ensure that her descendants could live a better life. Her strength, resilience, and wisdom became the foundation on which I built my own identity. I realized that my own journey was intertwined with hers, and in a way, her legacy was my own. Since that night, my life has been transformed. I see the world through different eyes now, with a deeper understanding of who I am and where I come from. My purpose feels clearer, my identity stronger. I feel a sense of belonging that I never had before, knowing that I am part of something much larger than myself. The lessons I learned from Olufunmilayo's life guide me in everything I do. I want to encourage everyone to explore their own family histories. You never know what you might uncover or how it might shape your own understanding of who you are. Genealogy is more than just names and dates. It's about connecting to something deeper, something that can bring clarity, purpose, and a sense of belonging. The power of genealogy is in its ability to connect us across generations. Thanks to modern technology, we now have access to tools that make it easier than ever to trace our roots. Websites like ancestry.com and MyHeritage allow us to search records, connect with distant relatives, and uncover family stories that might have otherwise been lost to time. In many ways, genealogy has become a tool for community building. People are reconnecting with long-lost relatives, sharing stories, and creating new bonds that transcend time and distance. The importance of preserving family history cannot be overstated. Our ancestors' stories are part of who we are, and by sharing them, we ensure that the legacy continues for future generations. As I reflect on the journey that began with a dream, I realize how powerful our connections to the past can be. They shape us, guide us, and inspire us to become better versions of ourselves. So, I urge you to explore your own family history. Take the time to learn about the people who came before you and let their stories light the way for you. If you have an experience like this, share with us in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share.